Yo, what's good, basketball heads? It's your boy Crush. So here goes Stephen A. Smith talking about the situation with LeBron. LeBron confronting him during the game, and he said it was a weak move, which we would all agree. It was a weak move, but beyond that, it's crazy how Gilbert Arenas always have something to say. Whenever you talk about LeBron, Bronny, anything that pertains to the James family, Gilbert Arenas always have something to say. And it's always to protect LeBron, Bronny. But this is the first time I've seen Gilbert Arenas quiet as a mouse. This man didn't say anything. The entire episode, this man didn't utter a word, literally. He stayed quiet, face down in his phone, because there's nothing to be said. You can't defend LeBron on this one. What are you going to say? You really can't defend LeBron. It was a weak sucker move. You're mad because this man told you, stop this. All Stephen A. Smith said was, LeBron, you got to stop this. You know Bronny is not an NBA prospect. Stop making a mockery of your son, embarrassing him with all the pressure. That's all he said. And LeBron confronted him about it. Come on, man. And Gilbert Arenas sat there, no response. He had nothing to say. Rashad McCants, he had a lot to say. And people always say Rashad is a hater. He hates LeBron. He's a big hater. What makes him a hater? Because he's speaking his truth? Or he's keeping it real? Because he's not pandering to LeBron and the LeBron media? That makes him a hater? Come on. Stephen A. Smith, he was on the show. He said a lot. The man even said he tried to avoid talking about Bronny for months. For months upon months, he kept quiet because he didn't want to ruin this kid's ascension or throw dirt on his name, so he kept quiet. But he said eventually he had to talk about it because everybody's looking like, what's going on? Stephen A. Smith is not going to cover the situation. The entire sports media news, everybody's talking about it. We are all talking about it. So eventually the man, he's compelled to talk about it. He can't stay quiet forever. But this episode was very interesting. Just to see and watch Gilbert Arenas sit there quietly like a mouse with no response, no input. This man just sat there like a bot. Didn't say anything because he really couldn't say much once again. And he knows it's a weak move. But he's not going to say anything. And that's my issue with Gilbert Arenas. This is why I don't feel the dude, man. He panders to LeBron too much. This man is always pandering to LeBron. Like, why do you need to pander to LeBron? I don't get it. Just call it down the middle. You don't have to choose sides. Just say what it is. But he will never do that. And that's why I can't stand watching him, because I know it's always pro LeBron. This man is always pro LeBron. Rashad seems like the hater, and he's always pro LeBron. He also talks about Carmelo. He didn't force his son, or Carmelo don't talk about his son. Dwayne Wade, he didn't try to assist his son. Dwayne Wade's son is still trying to get in the NBA. Still grinding, putting in the work, still trying to make it in the league. Dwayne Wade didn't pull any strings or, use his powers to try to help the dude. No. The man washed his hand, basically. My son got to get it out the mud. So Stephen A. Smith said LeBron is the only one who uses nepotism. He didn't say nepotism, but that's what he's saying. And his influences to draft Bronny to the Lakers of all teams. So Stephen A. said, LeBron, you did this. You put the spotlight on Bronny. I kept quiet. I tried to avoid talking about him, but you put a microscope on Bronny. And now you're mad when I am talking about him? And he didn't talk about Bronny much once again. All he told LeBron was, you got to stop this. The man didn't even say much. And LeBron felt the need to press him and try to, bully him. That was a weak move. We could all agree. And Rashad, he was loving this episode because he finally has someone who's not going to pander to LeBron. Stephen A., he does at times. Here, there, he'll pander to LeBron, but it's not often. But Rashad was happy because Gilbert Arenas, his entire show is about pro LeBron. Just say it like it is. All you got to do is say it like it is. You don't have to be on LeBron's side. You don't have to be against LeBron. Play the middle. That's it. And it was a weak move to confront the man during the game. Initially, I thought it was after the game, but it was in the third quarter, Stephen A said. The game was still in session. And LeBron decided, you know what? I am going to confront Stephen A right now. And Stephen A said he saw Bronny, and Bronny had a sad look on his face. So I'm guessing LeBron saw Bronny and being a father. But guess what? You put Bronny in this situation. You said Bronny is better than half the league, so you put all this pressure on Bronny, and then you're upset when we're talking about it? That is crazy. That is just insanity. So you threw the kid in the fire, and now you're upset when he gets burned? Makes sense. You got to make it make sense. Imagine Stephen A. Smith said his boss called him. All the bosses at ESPN called him and said, you got to talk about it. So the man was avoiding talking about Bronny for weeks and months. Even with the situation with LeBron confronted him, he still kept quiet. But his bosses called him and said, you have to cover the situation, especially when it's pertaining to you. So then he had to talk about it. But I thought it was a weak move. It was a very weak move. Like, it's basketball. Bronny is supposed to be a pro. If you're in the NBA and you're in the league, you are considered a pro. So you are not shielded from scrutiny like everybody else. What, Bronny's the golden boy? He can't be scrutinized. You can't criticize him. The whole situation is just dumb and it's bad. But LeBron created this. You made this situation. You created all these issues for Bronny. So don't get upset when we all talk about it and we cover the games and we point out the issues. And Stephen A. Smith, he did Bronny a favor because he avoided talking about Bronny. He said he didn't talk about Bronny during high school, college, when he went to USC. He said he avoided talking about Bronny because he didn't want to ruin or disrupt his situation. You know, he wanted to give him a fair chance. So he avoided talking about Bronny. He never went to see him in college, in high school. So the man was actually trying to help Bronny. He have to talk about the situation. There's no way around it. So essentially, Stephen A. Smith is basically saying he did LeBron and Bronny a favor by not covering Bronny for months and weeks and avoiding the whole situation. So the man did him a favor. But eventually he had to talk about the situation. And also him talking about Carmelo, Dwayne Wade, and others not pulling strings or doing favors. And that's a fact. You never hear Carmelo talk about his son. Ever. Carmelo is in the background. Yes, his son went to Syracuse, but that was his own decision. Carmelo played no role in that. He stayed out of that. Dwayne Wade's son is still fighting every day trying to get in the NBA. And Dwayne Wade, he stays out of that. So that's the difference compared to what LeBron did for Bronny. So LeBron used all his powers to help Bronny. This is the NBA. If you are considered a pro, they are going to talk about you. You will get a lot of coverage. This comes with the job. So you can't be upset. Oh, it's my son. It doesn't matter. He's a pro. He's in a Laker uniform, right? So he's considered a pro, which means he's not protected from criticism and us having conversations. This is how it goes in sports, man, and in media in general. But LeBron should have known this. I'm sure he's aware of all this. So I don't understand why he's trying to confront Stephen A. He's in his feelings about Bronny. And even Stephen A. Smith said it. After the first game where Bronny came, LeBron and Bronny took the floor. They had Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr. there. That was a great look. But after that game, he thought Bronny would have been in the G League, which we all thought he would have been in the G League after. But he continued to play. They continued to give him minutes, and he played. So LeBron set Bronny up for failure. Then you're going to press Stephen A. Smith because he told you need to stop this? Come on, LeBron. That was a very weak move, and I don't respect it. And Gilbert Arenas sat around, quiet, didn't say anything. No responses, nothing. He just sat there. Typical. But I expect him to behave like that. It's LeBron. He's not going to talk against LeBron ever. And this is why I say he's in pocket. Because he never has anything to say if it's not pro LeBron. It's always pro LeBron. Crazy enough, Rashad McCann, months ago, he said the whole situation with LeBron, Bronny, Ken Griffey Jr., Sr., it looks all staged. And, Stephen A. Smith said it looks all choreographed. So he said the exact same thing. The whole thing looks so put together, choreographed, which it did. So they went all out just to set things up and choreograph the first father and son duo in the NBA. And it was cool, but it was all staged. But after that situation, they should have sent Bronny to the G League immediately, not continue to play him in the first quarters and he's getting minutes and you have better players who can't even get 2 seconds. Come on. That wasn't a good look. Once again, Stephen A. Smith is saying what we're all saying. Bronny should have went to the G League after the first game and earned his stripes. That's what we all said. But Gilbert Arenas, he was pro Bronny and he's all for the nepotism, the favoritism, Bronny playing and all this craziness. But even Stephen A. Smith said it. After the first game, with LeBron, Bronny, Ken Griffey Jr., and Sr., he felt like Bronny should have went to the G League right after, which he should have, but nope. Of course, they're going to play him. LeBron is going to use his powers. JJ Redick is obviously under LeBron. So Bronny is going to get minutes. He's going to play. And that is the problem. And that's the problem we all have with the situation. But Gilbert Arenas, of course, he's going to look the other way and make excuses and typical. This is why whenever I watch the show, he annoys me when it relates to LeBron because I know he's always on one side. He's never in the middle. He's not objective about anything regarding LeBron. It's always pro LeBron, pro LeBron. And that's my issue with Gilbert Arenas. That's why whenever Rashad McCann, he speaks about LeBron or just anything, I'm always on his side because I know he's in the middle. He's going to say what it is, whether you call it hate or not. He's going to always speak the truth. But as always, I holla. As always, we just talking basketball. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share. Holla at your boy.
It's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about the game. I'ma say it. It's all about the game.